Coming up on UTRGV-TV, cars not stopping on pedestrian crosswalks raise concerns on the safety of students at UTRGV. A student on the Edinburg campus is trapped in one of the library elevators. We tell you what officials say about the issue. And just in this morning, UTRGV makes an announcement on tuition costs. Plus, we get to know who's behind the wheel of the famed Mystery Machine. We have this and so much more. UTRGV-TV starts now. Hey there, welcome back to another edition of UTRGV TV. I'm Kim Mesa. Cars are not yielding and sometimes not stopping on pedestrian crosswalks, raising concerns on the safety of students at UTRGV. Police are trying to do all they can to secure student safety. Here's this week's top story en español. Los estudiantes de UTRGV usan el paso de peatones todos los días de la semana, pero se deberían sentir totalmente seguros al hacerlo.
La seguridad del paso de peatones es algo que la universidad toma muy en serio. Y no nada más la universidad, también otras organizaciones como la salud ambiental y seguridad de peatones.
Teniente Schlosser dice que están viendo todas las posibles opciones, como poniendo más cámaras en secciones con alto tráfico.
También vamos durante el día a los pasos de peatones para hacer cumplir a los coches y multarlos si no le dan el paso a los estudiantes.
Méndez usa el paso de peatones tanto como de 4 a 5 veces de lunes a viernes y su seguridad lo preocupa.
Hay veces en las que pues, hay personas que se ven apuradas y sí te da miedo que uno de ellos se vaya a pasar. Y creo que la semana pasada fue cuando estaba cruzando como a medias y pasó un güey rápido y yo que, oye, la escuela debería hacerse cargo de más seguridad, probablemente como algún sistema de voluntariado o algo que quiera, no sé, trabajar horas o algo, ayudan así y ya pues los estudiantes se van a sentir un poco más seguros.
También hay una organización para la seguridad de paso de peatones que se formó en la universidad que se encarga en supertender lo que la universidad puede hacer para que los estudiantes se sientan más seguros. En Edinburg, reportando para UTRGV Noticias en español, yo soy Kim Mesa. A student on the Edinburg campus was trapped inside the UTRGV library elevator last Tuesday. The library elevators, which were constructed in 1978, have been known to break down several times a semester. However, UTRGV Facilities Planning and Operations urges students to be patient.
It's a high traffic area, and we need to deal with it. Of course, we are going to have failures, but we are trying to minimize as much as we can.
We will have an updated investigation on the elevator issue next week. Just this morning, UTRGV made an announcement on tuition costs. Students from a household with a gross income under $75,000 will receive free tuition beginning fall 2020. Local representatives joined Dr. Guy Bailey for the announcement, which is expected to help more than half of the university's undergraduate population. Dr. Bailey crediting local lawmakers for helping to accomplish this tuition advantage program, which he says will help advance the Rio Grande Valley as a whole.
We're a university about social mobility, and so we think the faster students can graduate and get into the workforce, and especially with very little debt, the better off they will be, but also the better off the Rio Grande Valley will be. This will be great for the entire valley.
UTRGV is also offering a reduced tuition and fees plan for students with a family gross income between $75,000 and $100,000. Last Thursday, the candidates went head-to-head at the Democratic debate. Our reporter, Elijah Noriega, went out to get students' opinions about the candidates.
Our Democratic primary debate starts right now.
In theme of the third 2020 Democratic Party presidential debate that happened on September 12th, we asked students at UTRGV about their political opinion.
I'm voting for Bernie Sanders because he's been very anti-establishment for his entire career. That the Green New Deal gets passed, we get Medicare for all, the country becomes more welcoming for everyone.
A record number of candidates are challenging our president in 2020. Currently, in the Democratic Party, there are only 10 candidates running. However, for the Republicans, there are only 4.
I think we do need healthcare reform. I do think we need a better immigration system. When I hear him talk about the immigration platform versus, the Dem platform for immigration, I just feel like it's a much stronger one than, let's say, open borders, for example. I'm not saying we need to keep everybody out, but we can't just let everybody in either.
We sat down with Dr. Velez to discuss the importance of being informative about the candidates and ways he tries to make students more involved.
And to know where the candidates stand helps them to be an informed voter. And the founders, when they put this crazy experiment together, we call the United States, said if we want, we can rule ourselves instead of the divine right of kings, monarchies and stuff. But the people have to be informed. Engage young people where they are. They're on social media. They're on Facebook. They're on Twitter. They're on Snapchat. They're on WhatsApp. All these new things. Why not use the platform for a small d democracy good, that people can engage with each other.
It's important to keep in touch with debates going on to make sure you have an informed vote. Be sure to watch the debates this upcoming year and don't forget to vote in 2020. In Edinburg for UTRGV-TV, I am Elijah Noriega.
Faculty from the Office for Victim Advocacy and Violence Prevention launches a weekly support group for domestic and sexual assault survivors. Our reporter, Rocio Villalobos, brings us the details.
It is not your fault.
That's the message Dr. Sarah Gristle has for victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. Dr. Gristle and Glenn Urie from the Office for Victim Advocacy and Violence Prevention, or OVAP, facilitating a weekly support group for the UTRGV community with shared experiences.
People come together with peers and they have those similar experiences. They can learn from each other. They can learn about how they're healing, and everyone's on a healing journey.
We really encourage people to not try to do this alone. It can be very isolating when an individual has been through a trauma such as that to try to do it alone.
According to OVAP, 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault, which is why Dr. Gristle and Urie say it's vital to have somewhere to turn for support.
It takes away a person's control, and so that's why we really need it here, because in college it can be so isolating when people say to you, really, how did you encourage that incident? Or did that really happen?
The meetings also offer strategies to help cope with anguish and are open to any survivor, including men.
I really would encourage men that if you have experienced something, it's not your fault. It is actually very difficult and very scary to ask for help. And so just the fact of reaching out and talking to somebody can be very empowering for yourself, and it shows your strength.
If you know a survivor of domestic abuse or sexual assault, Dr. Gristle and Urie say the best thing you can do is offer your support. Reporting in Edinburg for UTRGV-TV, Rocio Villalobos.
The first meeting will be held tomorrow in room 1.142 inside the Health Affairs Building West. Last week, we introduced Dr. Francisco Guajardo's departure from UTRGV. We now have the details on his new position at a place not so far from UTRGV in Edinburg. Yolanda Quiroz has the story.
From walking down these halls in this very building to working at these very centers to now being the Chief Executive Officer for the Museum of South Texas History.
I think that with my teaching and my research and my service work, I've always had the community at the center of most of my analysis and most of how I make decisions about what I'm doing next.
Guajardo says he took the opportunity to play a leadership role because it's an institution that provides guidance to how people looking from outside and in perceive the Rio Grande Valley. He says he wants to participate in shaping the identity of the region.
My role is to lead a very capable, very talented staff that has as its purpose to really showcase this place, this museum, as a place where we have exhibits that are state-of-the-art, world-class exhibits.
McHatton, who first announced Guajardo's departure, says his deep knowledge of history and love for the Rio Grande Valley places him in the perfect position at the museum.
I think what he will bring to that institution will be very much the same kind of things that he brought to us, right? That deep understanding of the importance of, legacy and family and community.
She says she looks forward to working with Guajardo and creating an even stronger tie between the museum and the university. The Museum of South Texas History will host an event on September 26th to welcome Dr. Guajardo. In Edinburg, for UTRGV-TV, I'm Juliana Quiroz.
It's internship week at UTRGV, which means that by Friday, you could have the internship of your dreams. An internship expo will take place Wednesday in Brownsville and Thursday in Edinburg, where students will have the chance to meet various employers looking to hire interns. The companies present will include nonprofit organizations, government agencies, small businesses, and more. If you'd like to attend, you are urged to dress to impress, brush up your interviewing skills, and have your resume reviewed. Jack Caulfield shares how completing an internship will help students succeed in their career.
So with students who are majoring in a specific field, they want to kind of get that hands-on experience a little early before they graduate. That way, when it comes to, doing an internship, they have experience and they can take the skill sets that they learned and apply them to a full-time career.
Additionally, the Career Center will host workshops leading up to the expos. The schedule can be accessed through Handshake. If you have ever taken a walk on any of the UTRGV campuses, it is hard not to notice the amount of active wildlife the campuses have to offer. UTRGV-TV takes a closer look on how to help protect and conserve wildlife on campus.
When taking walks through UTRGV campuses, students are serenaded with the sounds and sights of nature and wildlife. We spoke to Dr. Christopher Gabler, UTRGV's assistant professor in the School of Earth, Environmental, and Marine Biology, on what ways we could help wildlife on campus.
So for animals on campus, one of the most important things we can do is avoid litter, especially plastic litter that might get consumed or become a choking hazard for some of the animals on campus. Also, it's good not to feed the animals on campus because the food that we consume is usually not the best thing for wildlife. Something you can do a bit off of campus that benefits campus animals would be to garden with native plants. Can really contribute to the health of pollinators and birds and other insects that need these native plants to survive. We have a lot of green space compared to a lot of other campuses. We could do a better job of gardening with native plants. Our campus looks fabulous, and it really is one of the things we're most proud of. One of my biggest recommendations is just to go and enjoy it. Look for it. It's in more places than you might think. Take the time to walk around and peek into dark areas and corners behind buildings, and you'll be surprised by what you might find. So get out and enjoy wildlife.
We also asked students about wildlife on campus.
Like the wildlife, it just has a special touch. It just helps out, keep the students feeling a little bit better every single day, like the little duckies and stuff, Yeah, I love the wildlife.
UTRGV-TV tried to reach out to wildlife on campus. However, they were a bit camera shy.
Can you tell us how we can protect you?
Reporting in Brownsville for UTRGV-TV, I'm Jose Guerrero.
You might have seen the ScoobyDoo mystery machine parked in lot E19 on the Edinburg campus and wondered who owns the car. Reporter Verilu Infante has the answer to that mystery.
When most people think of a dream car, they don't think it would be straight out of the pages of a comic book. But that's not the case for E.J. Salinas. Salinas is a junior at UTRGV studying music. He was fascinated with the live-action Scooby-Doo films, so he had always dreamt of owning the mystery machine that Scooby and the gang travel in to solve mysteries. Ultimately, Salinas came into possession of the vehicle in the form of a graduation and birthday gift.
There were four live-action films of Scooby-Doo, and ever since I saw the mystery machine in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies, I was like, hey, yeah, one day I'm gonna have that car. And I said, one day God's gonna give it to me. One day Jesus is gonna give it to me, and now it's here. Now it's mine. Jesus gave it to me, and he used somebody to give it to me as a birthday/graduation gift, and that would be my parents.
With Scooby by his side, Salinas enjoys the excitement that his vehicle brings to people.
Well, normally when they see the mystery machine, they're like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. That's so cool. Can we take a picture? And sometimes it scares me because on the road they'll honk at me, and I'm so sorry, and I forget that I'm driving the mystery machine.
Salinas welcomes any students interested or anybody interested to take pictures with the mystery machine in parking lot E19.
In Edinburg for UTRGV-TV, I'm Berilo Infante.
On September 12, UTRGV joined the nation in celebrating National Video Games Day. The Game Room hosted a special all-day event for students to enjoy free food, study, play, and relax. Throughout the month, the Game Room hosts different tournaments such as billiards, poker, and Smash Bros, along with video game releases. Game Room team leader Sandra Mazo states why it's important for UTRGV to host events like this in the Game Room.
They can ease their mind off the schoolwork. It's fun for them because they meet new students.
All Game Room events are held at the Student Union Game Rooms located in room 2.100 at the Edinburg campus and room 1.10 at the Brownsville campus. Now let's send it over to Nathaniel Puente for This Week in UTRGV Sports.
If you've been following UTRGV-TV for a while, you might know that I love the number 4. That's a quick little throwback to an April newscast. There's a few reasons I like 4. Well, coincidentally, it is week 4 of UTRGV Sports, and we have a quartet of games to go over. First, we stay right here in Edinburg, where women's soccer hosted Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the South Texas Showdown. Coming into this game, UTRGV was undefeated in the showdown. Their 4-0-3 record included a win from earlier this year. But games are not written on paper. The Islanders found the net early in the game with a nice goal right there. However, the Vaqueros would not go down looking. UTRGV outshot Corpus Christi 20-6, but none of them made it into the goal, and Corpus took the win 1-0. UTRGV holds a 3-2-1 record and hosts Grambling State this Friday. Volleyball was also in action against another Texas A&M school, but this one of the College Station variety. UTRGV traveled to Aggie Land for the Texas A&M Invitational. The Vaqueros kicked off the tournament against Northwestern State and easily took the win in a 3-game sweep. In the following game, UTRGV faced Texas State, and although the Vaqueros took the first set, the Bobcats answered back with 3-set wins to take the match. UTRGV's last chance was against tournament host Texas A&M. Once again, the Vaqueros took the first set, but were no match for the powerhouse of the Aggies. Volleyball has another tournament to travel to as they head all the way to the UTRGV Fieldhouse. That's for the UTRGV tournament coming up this weekend. They weren't the only team playing Texas A&M over this last week, though, as UTRGV Cross Country headed up to College Station for the Texas A&M Invitational, and Abraham Churcher won the 8K race with a time of 24:36. And that's pretty quick because that's even shorter than our newscast has been the past 2 weeks. So that's going to be your UTRGV TV sports highlights for this week. That's a wrap. Back to you, Kim.
On Tuesday, September 10th at 9:53 p.m., an officer responded to the education complex in reference to a female student being transported to the hospital. The student was transported to Doctors Hospital at Renaissance due to a severe nosebleed. The student recently had sinus surgery and had been experiencing nosebleeds. On Wednesday, September 11th at 12:38 a.m., a female staff member reported that her lunch bag was stolen from the Health Affairs West building when left unattended. Case is under investigation. That same morning at 2:27 a.m., a female staff member reported that her vehicle was burglarized while parked unattended in Lot E37. Several personal items were stolen. The vehicle showed no signs of forced entry. The case is still under investigation. And in the spirit of 16 de Septiembre, Nathaniel Puente went out on the streets to see how much people know about Mexico and its Independence Day.
Hola. Today is Mexican Independence Day, which is pretty important to people around this region because of how much Mexican heritage we have around here. So I'm going to go around school and ask people how much they actually know about their Mexican history. And joining me will be José de Escandón, the man who founded Nuevo Santander. That's what this area was called a really long time ago. So let's go, José. Okay, I guess it's just going to be me.
$1940? Say probably around the 1700s.
About the year, but I want to say 1800s.
It was in the 1800s.
Okay,
Can you try to take a guess at what year?
18... I keep thinking 1863 for some reason.
September 16.
There you go, good start.
I know it started in 1810.
Good job.
And I think like the whole war ended 11 years later.
Yeah, good job.
Okay.
Precisely. So if you aren't sure, September 16th is the anniversary of the date in 1810 when Mexico decided to start the fight for its independence from Spain. That's when Father Miguel Hidalgo called on the Grito de Dolores, which signaled the Mexican Revolution to begin. The war lasted 11 years, but Mexico was able to finally gain its independence in 1821.
I mean, I'm familiar with him, but I do not know all of his accomplishments and achievements.
Can you name one of them?
The Battle of Puebla.
You know who Father Miguel Hidalgo was? And they're all out. All right.
Padre Miguel, the guy who said, "Viva Mexico! Viva la Revolución! Viva!"
I'm joined by a lizard who is a pretty big fan of Mexico and wants to tell me something about its heritage. He's a little camera shy.
Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
Nice, good. Not a lot of people know that.
Oh, it was Mexico, because I remember they were like throwing rocks and they won. Oh, America.
No, yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
How many do you think you can name?
I don't know if they're states, but I mean, I guess the provinces, I guess like Tamaulipas. And
Chihuahua, Mexico,
Nuevo León.
Veracruz, and Tamaulipas.
Yes.
Tamaulipas, there you go. 2 efforts, I got 5.
Michoacán, Guanajuato, Jalisco, Veracruz, and San Luis Potosí.
All right.
First generation over here, there's so much heritage and culture that's brought in to my family and everyone that is coming over here, because although I'm now living over here, there's still so much bloodline that's coming from Mexico, and there's nothing that you should be ashamed of coming over here, coming into a new culture, especially with the valley being so unique. And yeah, it's just a lot of pride that you have to show. So today's the best day to show it.
Can you sing the Mexican national anthem?
Mexicanos, grito de guerra, something, 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 I don't know the words. Something, 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 something. The best Mexican out there.
That's all we have for you today. But remember, if you have a story you would like for us to know about or know someone who is making an impact on campus or in the community, you can contact us through our social media or email us at tv@utrgv.edu. We have community and UTRGV news for you every week. See you next time.